It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears. And it kicks off next on Madden NFL 25.
Soldier Field opened back in 1924 with the Bears becoming tenants in 71. And what a home field advantage it has become here in Chicago. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
The kicker, Brandon Aubrey, is out to get this one started. And off we go from Soldier Field. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their rookie quarterback, the latest in a long line of NFL QBs from USC.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. Right back to Swift again on second down. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's 2nd and 10. They'll stay on the ground with Swift. Some tough running, but it only gets him to the 45-yard line.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Now a 3rd and 6. Here's Williams. Able to find the open man. That's complete. Touchdown, Chicago. Rome Odunze, 55 yards. And the Bears get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Well, Charles, kind of the future of this franchise on display right there. You had a rookie throwing it, a rookie catching it, and taking it into the end zone.
Could you imagine if we were in the owner's box right now and we could look at the front office and see the grins on their faces to see the present making plays and knowing what the future will bring with these youngsters going out and making big-time moments happen for this team.
Santos with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. 5 plays there on that drive, and the end result is a Bears touchdown. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Now we'll see what the right arm of Dak Prescott has in store as the Dallas Cowboys offense sets up shop.
It's been a lot of fun watching him advance in his career. Many people question his ability to throw the football coming out of Mississippi State. He's conclusively answered that question. In addition, a very strong runner and an even better leader.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Ferguson. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. Prescott off play action. Rush coming, and he's taken down. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack.
Now, how about that? Defensive coordinator perfectly in sync, dials up a blitz, and the man in the middle, he's the one who gets home.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. They'll run up the middle here with Blue. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line.
I don't think anyone thought we'd see a run facing 2nd and that long, and that element of surprise, I think, helped make that play so successful. Nice effort on that carry, and it took what seemed like 2nd and impossible, now has him within throwing range of a 1st down.
So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Here's Prescott. He hits Blue. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the 1st.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
That's into the hands of Tolbert. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, OTAs, mini camp, and just regular season, they got it done on that one. An outcut, ball was delivered, and picked up the completion.
Now an option play on 2nd down. He'll grab 3 yards on the play, taking it himself for the 1st down. So that was all you're looking for on a play like that. Get the 1st down and keep the drive moving.
Yeah, it just looked to me like he just said to himself, I've got this. I'll take it. I'll pick it up, and let's keep moving. Get the 1st down, get a new set, and let's start over.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
Now a 2nd and 10. They go with Blue between the tackles. And he'll be taken down at the 34. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Early down stuffs will put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on 3rd down. Now Prescott. And he'll be stopped short of the 1st down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
So after the made field goal, back out is Aubrey to kick this away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and it'll bring up a 2nd and short.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
First down, and they go with Swift again. And slow going there as he'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now we're at the 41, 2nd and 9. They'll run the draw here with Swift. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
But now they're in a spot that every team tells us when we have our production meetings they don't want to be in, 3rd and long. And that's because those back-to-back running plays just didn't accomplish a whole lot.
They'll see about converting this 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, a throw for Williams. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. Second drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it. When you're running the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Prescott now. Pass complete. George Pickens with it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. A gain there of 30 big ones.
A very nice job right there, working the middle of the field, able to create some separation, and then utilize it to not just make the catch, but turn upfield once he got the ball in his hands.
So the line of scrimmage all the way up to midfield now as they've got it 1st and 10. Prescott now from the 50. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
2nd and 10. They hand it off. It's Blue. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult 3rd down call now.
3rd down and 13. Now Prescott. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they stop him up short of the 1st down as they get him at about the 43. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
And that's off the right upright, and it bounces away no good. And that will keep this a 4-point game.
I don't care who you are. 60 yards is a very ambitious attempt. Hard to make even in practice in the best of conditions. And now, worst of all, you give the other guys the ball to start their drive at midfield.
Well, they tried the field goal from just inside of 70 yards. It missed, and now this offense set up nicely at midfield. They will run straight ahead with Swift. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
To throw, it's Williams. And his throw here's incomplete. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have the Bears 1st down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Swift going to try up the middle. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Trayvon Diggs getting the tackle.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Looking to throw is Williams. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Olamide Zaccheaus, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Bears are able to add on to that lead. Well executed there offensively. Defense looked a little confused, but he found his receiver, and that one good for 6 points.
And the payoff we just saw there tells us how many times they ran this play in practice over the past few weeks, because they executed that flawlessly right here on game day when the situation arose.
Santos now to add the PAT. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. That time a 6-play drive. And it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Cowboys about set to take over on offense. And they were in field goal range last time out but couldn't connect.
And it's early in the game, so I don't think that the confidence just goes entirely out of, running your kicker back out there. But let's face it, some coaches have a little bit less patience for that than others. Let's see if they call the game differently now in terms of what they do on drives and not try and settle for field goals.
Throwing, Prescott. Over the middle, hauled in by Lamb. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys.
I tell you what, when you're down on the scoreboard, you've got to look to your stars, and that's what they do here to start the drive. I wouldn't be surprised if they looked his way a few more times in short order. That one, well designed, and it's a quick first down.
Start of the second quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. As they've got it as we resume action. And he'll go right back to Lamb. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 10 more for him on that one. He's been a busy man. It's a first down.
Well, this hasn't really been a first half to remember on either side of the ball. But I think this kind of makes this an important drive. You'd love to get this back to a one-score game if you can. And that's good work there to get some yardage here and pick up the first down.
A first carry now. This is Williams. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Here's a 2nd and 8. On the give, this is Blue. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory.
It's not a huge breakaway run, but if your starting running back finishes the game with averages of 5 or 6 yards per touch, you'll take that every single time.
The offense on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll try to run for it with Blue. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. They'll try to throw now. Prescott. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Play action now. Prescott. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ferguson. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears 19. 23 yards the pickup there.
But give them credit for a good read right there because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. And he was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a shotgun handoff. Blue. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Noah Sewell there to make that play defensively.
That's a really nice play, to be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. Off the play fake, Prescott. This is caught. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. Third catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down.
That's the third time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going, and right now it's paying off with big chunks of yardage as shown by that last play.
And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
He kept it in his hands and tried to push it across the goal line himself, but the defensive front wouldn't allow him to do so, bringing up second down and a bit farther.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. Out of the gun, they run with blue. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
When you look at the geography we're staring at, this part of the field, don't you always think of big backs carrying the football, bruisers trying to pound it in? Instead, look at a little more of a scat back type, and he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, they will. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Taking it in from a yard out. And the Cowboys have cut it back within a score.
And you can bet when they were in that huddle, there was definitely some urgency because I'm sure they were saying to each other, we got to push this one in right now so we don't have to run this on 4th down, and there'll be extra bodies in the hole. That's excellent work there at the point of attack. All it takes is one little crease as he fights his way into the end zone.
Brandon Aubrey now for the extra point. And he's got it. That cuts the lead. It's now 14-10. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
To the air, Williams. Throw right side, taken in by Adunze. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area.
That's caught inside the 20. And he's way down into Dallas territory inside the Cowboy 15. A huge play there for Chicago. And even 40 yards.
There's the arm strength that we saw in college and during the scouting process. And really, it's not just the arm strength there, but the placement as well. To me, that was an excellent combination of arm talent and accuracy.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Williams. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it'll be second down. Here's a handoff to Swift. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. DeAndre Swift, a 9-yard touchdown run. And the Bears are able to extend their lead.
That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of a season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and that makes it a 21-10 game. The drive summary that time, 5 plays, and a 9-yard run on the end of it. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Dallas offense back out onto the field. They'll look to make some inroads here, trailing 21-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Play fake. Here's Prescott. That is caught by Lamb. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A very solid gain of 27.
And maybe that touchdown on the previous drive has re-energized this offense a little bit. They've been kind of sluggish until then, but they're showing signs of life here, and they get good yardage that time and a 1st down.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 47. On play action, Prescott. He's got this to Pickens. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Boy, 30 more yards and another 1st down.
I think this defense was still trying to recover from that last play, so you wonder if they were ready for this one. You have to imagine their defensive coaches are yelling at them to get focused, because if they don't, more plays like that will result in giving up points.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. To throw is Prescott. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
To the air again, Prescott. Pickens on the slant. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
That is caught, and he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Not easy being a rookie left tackle in this league, and there they got him for the penalty.
Not easy at all. Think about what you're dealing with every game you play. Ostensibly, the best pass rusher is over you on every snap. I'd be a little jumpy myself.
On the carry, this is Blue. He gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Now it's a bootleg with Prescott. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. Prescott on 3rd and goal. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Dak Prescott taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Cowboys have got it back to within a score.
Hey, you're down on the scoreboard, but now your offense is in close, and this is where, as a quarterback, you say, I've got to make a play here. Doesn't matter whether it's a pinpoint throw or a scramble like this one. He takes matters into his own hands and delivers a touchdown run.
Aubrey now for the PAT.
And he's got it to make this a 21-17 game. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays.
And it was all capped off by Dak Prescott, keeping it and taking it in on the touchdown run. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Well, let's shine the spotlight on the former Georgia Bulldog, DeAndre Swift, who's set to begin this next drive.
He's over 40 yards here in the 2nd quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals.
To throw, Williams.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Now 2nd and 3. Throwing is Williams.
Flushed out right. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
As we both know, there was a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year, and part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting a lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
On the handoff, this is Swift.
He's got this to the 30 before being taken down.
69 yards rushing for him, as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Here's Williams. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet. And he'll be taken down after a pickup of about 7 as the clock will stop here for the 2-minute warning. A reminder coming up here at halftime. We'll ship you off to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman will have first-half highlights and analysis from a back-and-forth first half that we've seen. Oh, Odunze wide open. It's complete. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets them up 1st and goal.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
Now Williams operating from the gun.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Touchdown! A 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Bears are able to widen their advantage.
And remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
Had 3 touchdown passes. You're right. He looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents and also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good.
Now the point after try for Santos. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And the end result is a Bears touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Cowboys offense and Dak Prescott getting ready to go once more. And he's done everything you could have asked for coming in. He's spread it around. He hasn't taken many chances. And he's potentially on his way to a big game throwing the football.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated. Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a 1st down.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half.
A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost.
He's going to look deep down the field. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. A big play there just before halftime, and even 40 yards. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game, and if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. And This is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Cowboys get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes, because that's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far and fun to watch. Aubrey good with a PAT, and that makes it a 28-24 game. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Well, let's shine the spotlight on the former Georgia Bulldog, DeAndre Swift, who's set to begin this next drive. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
In the first half, it was the man from USC, Caleb Williams, who put on a solid performance. He got out to a hot start with 2 first-quarter touchdown passes, threw another for good measure in the second quarter. So he has been on target throughout.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Cowboys offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games, and we're seeing a pretty good one right now, hotly contested in the third quarter. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
On first down, it's Blue. And this defense not ready for that one as he'll take this down inside the 25. 42 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
And, that would get a wide-up incomplete. Nearly an interception in the end zone. Probably should have been. 3rd down coming up.
Not only did they drop what looked like an interception in the end zone, they blew a golden opportunity to shift the momentum.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Looking to throw. Prescott. He hits blue. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
A field goal helps, but a touchdown gets you the lead. That had to be the message transmitted in the huddle. And they delivered there as that throw is going to keep the drive alive. And even better than that, set them up with a 1st and goal.
Here's blue. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Cowboys have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the 2nd half. Well, he finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 downs, stay on the field, run it, and catch it. And he gets it done.
Now the extra point up and good by Aubrey. And that gives him a 3-point lead. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Bears offense and Caleb Williams set to go to work once more. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And, Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Came out of the locker room, 1-score game. Now the lead has already changed hands. Well, this offense, they've got an opportunity right now to take that lead right back.
Yeah, and it feels like you're going back and forth almost a little bit like a tennis match, right? And we're just, our heads just keep moving. Which side has it? Which side's going to score? How are they going to go out doing it? A little bit of a challenge for each side trying to match each other.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Here's a toss play right to Swift. Trying to turn the corner, but they string him out and stop him at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. They tried to run it to the short side of the field. There just wasn't a whole lot of room to work with.
Yeah, it seems like things just kept getting strung out towards the sideline, and he kept looking for a spot to dive up into the gap. There just wasn't one, so that turned into nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
And no gain. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
They'll go play action here with Williams. A pass complete to Odunze.
And he's brought down. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. But there's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. 91 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success.
Play action. Now Williams. That's to Moore, and he's got it. Touchdown, Bears.
A great effort there. 26 yards.
And the Bears have retaken a third-quarter lead. Well, to put it mildly, he's been able to dice up this secondary all game long, and this time that was a missile that he threw into the end zone and adding another touchdown to his ledger.
And I think we see these youngsters develop a lot quicker than we ever have because when they get started in this game, they're not just throwing passes around. They're reading coverages early. So now they're like seasoned pros earlier in their career. How about this one here? If they win this ball game, a game ball definitely coming from his head coach.
Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The visitors' offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They had seized the lead there for a little bit with a starting drive in the third quarter, but a moment ago the touchdown that puts them back behind.
So their defense is under siege a little bit right now because they have not able to solve their opponents. So they've got to keep hammering away on offense and try and win this one in what appears to be a shootout. A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line to hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Lamb. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Prescott and Lamb hooking up for the Cowboy first.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
They'll run up the middle here with Blue. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line.
Montez Sweat with a tackle.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd and 9.
Out of the gun, here's Prescott.
A short one there taken in by Ferguson.
So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And now we've got a 3rd and 4. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. Now Prescott. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 42. 11 yards there as they connect on the quick slant.
3rd and 4 is always a tough call. Maybe a little too long to run for it, but not too long to hit him on the quick slant. And that was well executed. Found the window and zipped it right in there.
You can just kind of sense the momentum turning here. It's 1st and 10. Handoff, Blue running right. And he's got it to about the 40. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. Well, hopefully, obviously, nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Second down and 8. They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
Here's Prescott. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Prescott. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards, and that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
They'll need a big play here, will Dak and the Cowboys after the sack. It's 3rd and long. Now Prescott. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
Like any team playing, they're looking for touchdowns to try and help their cause. But in this case, he does get them a little closer at least if they think a field goal turns out to be the better call here.
So on 4th down, Prescott off, and on is Aubrey for the Cowboy field goal. It'll come from the right hash. It's a 47-yard attempt. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and that'll bring him back within a point. So the response to that touchdown on the other side to begin the 3rd quarter. Look, just 3 points, but still a response nonetheless.
You're exactly right about that, because I think you needed to answer back with something, even though it's not 6. Just enough to send the message that says, hey, we're not going away.
So after the made field goal, back out is Aubrey to kick this away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Bears offense and running back DeAndre Swift headed back onto the field. And as you take a look at the numbers, you have to imagine he was the topic of the halftime talk for this defense. We've got to find a way to slow him down. That's probably what they're saying. But nothing that they have done has worked so far. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they'll be looking to build off of a nice drive last time, a drive that really relied on the quarterback.
Making good decisions, distributing the ball well, distributing it accurately, keeping it away from danger. A really nicely run drive.
But now the defense, what adjustments do they need to make in the passing game?
Pass rush, pass rush, whether it's the guys up front or maybe you bring additional guys, but you've got to disrupt the timing of them throwing the football.
We'll see if they can disrupt it here.
He'll get this into the hands of Adunze.
A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Off the play fake, it's Williams. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
Looking to throw is Williams.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 right at the 40. He'll find his man on the comeback route, complete. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. And that last reception puts him over 150 yards now on the game, Charles.
And now it's not just execution. It's not just performance. It's a mental aspect that's going on. Because right now, he's got the defense so much on their heels, got them looking at each other. Who's going to cover this guy, and what type of coverage can we put out there to try and slow him down?
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Soldier Field. And we've got a dandy here. A 1-point game as we begin the 4th.
On 3rd down, here comes Swift.
And he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive could take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
So a big one coming now for Cairo Santos. This to get the lead up to 4. Santos' kick is up and through, and that'll move their lead up to 4 now. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away.
And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Able to hit his target, Lamb.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 43. They go with glue between the tackles. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
2nd down and a little more than a yard here.
Prescott now. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. They call it a loss of a yard there. And 3rd and 1 now.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get-off on the snap, jump too quickly.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Throwing, Prescott.
And that, nearly picked off. But it would have been a great time for their first interception of the game. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops and escape this drive.
Prescott to throw it. This is caught, and he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. He got 29 yards that time.
Oh, nice job there putting the ball right in the doorstep of the goal line. Couldn't quite get in to pay dirt, but he got awfully close. Let's see if they can cash it in over the next couple of plays.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. They'll run. This is Blue. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown.
A touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Cowboys have taken a 4th quarter lead. This has definitely been a back-and-forth affair, and now they have the lead here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and they gave up the field goal on that last drive, as we remember, but it felt like their offense told them, don't worry about it. We've got your backs. We'll come back with a touchdown of our own, and they did.
Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. A drive that time of 6 plays, and it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field.
We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the 4th quarter.
They'll start on the ground with Swift. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd and 8. They'll let the QB keep it here off the option. And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. The 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. Boy, the pursuit there, terrific from the linebacking core.
Oh, it certainly was, because so many times on an option play, you'll see a linebacker make a beeline for the quarterback and then zip, one cut, and he's grasping at air. But this time, he locked in on him the whole way, took an excellent angle, and his grasp came up with the quarterback.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Well, that plays a statistic that's going to go on the defensive team stat sheet. Won't necessarily reflect in ours, right, the overall game sheet. But you and I know that they keep count on pressures, hits on quarterbacks, all those things, hoping to increase that throughout the game. And here we are in the 4th quarter, and they got a big one.
And such a close game, a very big one. Good coverage there, an even 50-yard punt leads to a return of 5. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Here's Prescott. Got an open man, it's Pickens. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This is 3rd and 4. To throw is Prescott. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
Now that's a killer, because you think you've got it absolutely covered, and then he hot-foots it out of there and picks up a 1st down. Drives you crazy as a defense.
Looked like, you're exactly right. Looked like a 4 sure stop on 3rd, and then the tables turn. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Blue try the right side. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand they're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
They go again with Blue. And this won't be enough to pick up the 1st. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
3rd down and 1. Play fake. Here's Prescott. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit, because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden, they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field, and they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the fourth, a costly turnover.
The Chicago offense set to get started. What a big fourth quarter fumble recovery a moment ago, and now they are set up with a chance to take the lead.
Following the fumble recovery, Williams.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
One thing you hope to see out of a rookie tight end is a real concentration when the ball's in the air, and I'm not sure that he didn't, but he has to be prepared for people making a play on it when that ball's up for grabs.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
To the air, Williams. He'll look middle here and get it to Odunze.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
To throw, it's Williams.
And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
Off the bootleg, it's Williams.
Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
Facing 2nd and short, that gives you a chance to go for a bigger play through the air. But I think he said to himself, why not just handle this one? Got all the yards he needed and then some, and made that snap a huge success.
To throw, Williams.
And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago.
Caleb Williams.
A 3-yard touchdown run.
And the Bears have retaken the lead.
I'm pretty sure that was a passing play, but he took off pretty quickly and ran with it.
Love his decisiveness on it, because you're exactly right. He was supposed to go back in the pocket and survey the field and throw the football. But when that hole opened, he just said, forget it, let's go. And boy, did that work out well.
Santos now to add the PAT. And that will make this a 4-point game. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The visitors' offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes. And he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one.
And he's going to be down at the 35, gain of 7.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
From the 35, here's 2nd and 3.
Play action now. Prescott. Throw left side complete. That's Ferguson. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a first down to boot. He'll look to throw.
On the out route, it's Lamb with a grab.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Under 4 to go now as they come up on 2nd down. Looking to throw. Prescott. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of 4. Good enough to earn him yet another first down. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Excellent job on the keeper. 20 yards and a first down.
I'd sure love to offer some advice to the defensive coordinator, but his guys are just getting run over by an offense that's executing like a well-oiled machine.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it.
Looking for Pickens. He's got him on the out route.
And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Charles, he's now over 400 yards passing in this one. It feels like he has a zillion completions. Just a very memorable effort from a guy that we thought could be in line for a big game, and he has exceeded our expectations.
That he has, and I'm not really surprised at all because when you look at this offensive unit, they are loaded across the board. And, of course, the guy throwing them, he's a big-time player himself. They brought it from start to finish and really helped get the better of the opposing secondary.
The ball on the 8. Still could get a first down technically. 2nd and 7.
They'll drop to throw.
This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give him some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. And it's intercepted at the goal line.
Tyreek Stevenson picks it off.
And he's into the clear. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. So from one end zone all the way to the other. Talk about a turnaround.
And how about the excitement that that play generates for his team? Not just the points on the board, but the momentum and taking it from coast to coast, end zone to end zone. What a tremendous play. Now get that man an oxygen tent.
That's your boy Old Mo. You said momentum, right?
Old Mo, I think he's kind of limping across at the end because of that distance, but he made it.
Now the point after try for Santos. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Cowboys offense and CeeDee Lamb ready to take over once more. And he's had some kind of game. They made it a point to get him involved early, and it has paid giant rewards to this stage of the game. This is 1st and 10. Back to it after the pick six. Prescott. And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
They'll come up now on 2nd down. Now Prescott. A short one there taken in by Ferguson. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. He's got Pickens complete, and he will have a Cowboys 1st down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
That's not the first time they've looked his way when they've needed a big play. He's been the go-to guy all game long. And they get the hook up again on 3rd down to keep this drive alive.
All 3 timeouts remain, but they've got to score quick. It's 1st and 10. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Here's Dak. Over the middle, complete. It's Ferguson. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Now Prescott. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Cowboys have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. So certainly some importance to this one now. After the touchdown, they could get this down to a field goal with a 2-point conversion. But he will not get in here. He's stopped up short of the goal line, and this will remain a 5-point game. You know, we've discussed this before, and we've seen it at practices. Extra periods being put in for the offense on these 2-point tries. But the defense, they're beefing up their support as well in practice.
They absolutely have to. If people are going to go for 2 and try and gain those advantages and make it tougher on your team as the game goes along, you have to be in a position to stop those. You can't let them get the advantage. So, yes, the defensive teams, they're putting in that extra time on 2-point plays as well.
So they got one of the 2 touchdowns they needed. Now for the onside kick. And the Bears hands team able to pounce on it and get the football. And now looking at the clock here, they do have 2 timeouts, but even if they force a 3-and-out, they're going to have very little time remaining.
So that means they've got to be aggressive and find a way to knock the ball free. They've got to come up with it because they can't just rely, as you noted, on using their timeouts and getting the ball back. They might not have any time to mount an attack, even if they do play it that way. Get the football. That's their mantra.
The Bears in good field position to start out 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. They will run straight ahead with Swift. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Here's 3rd and 6. Here's Williams. And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20.
This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes the right read seemingly every time. Here's 1st and 10. Prescott.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Inside a minute to go. Here's 2nd and 10 now. Now Dak. That's complete to Lamb.
And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds.
And that's going to do it. With that last throw, he surpasses Norm Van Brocklin's mark of 554 passing yards in one game, set more than 70 years ago, way back in 1951. He's had help from his offensive line and his receivers, but this has been an incredible individual performance. Final minute, no timeouts at their disposal. Here's 1st and 10. To throw, Prescott.
He hits blue.
Room to maneuver at the 35.
And down to the 29-yard line.
Ah, what a play. Now get to the ball quickly. Got to be ready with another play or get up and spike it.
Here's 1st down. Here's Prescott. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
With no timeouts left, that's a dangerous proposition, work in the middle of the field. Fortunately for them, that one fell incomplete.
They'll try again here, 2nd and 10.
Now Prescott.
The throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
Couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
Prescott to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. So this defense, they looked a little shaky to start the drive, but bottom line, they're a play away from finishing it off.
They rocked them a little bit on this drive, didn't they? But as you and I both know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. They have a chance to end it right here.
The decision made for them. They've got to go. It's 4th down.
Desperation time. Prescott on 4th. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Bears will get the football back.
Now, you know I don't often have sympathy for quarterbacks, but in this situation, I don't know what else he could do. 4th down, so he can't just throw the ball away. He's got to find a way to try and make a play, but the pressure ended up getting to him.
Pressure got to him. Really big sack and a turnover here on downs. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And we talked so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Bears get the win at home as we say so long from Soldier Field.